Hey everyone, my name is Yoshi and welcome back to Dark Souls. In the last episode we got through the tutorial area, and in this episode we're going to explore Firelink Shrine a bit. Only later, because there's something I want to do first, but first we're going to talk to this guy.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess, fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first, but there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, two bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
Yeah, that guy's an asshole, and we are going to be killing him as soon as we possibly can. But that's going to take a bit of leveling up because he is kind of strong. But there's a couple things that I want to pick up before we actually continue the game. One of those being in a chest back here somewhere, and the other one being, in somewhere that you're not supposed to go until much, much, much later in the game. But, I go there now just because there's something that I can get there that will really help out a lot. In the beginning of the game, so we're gonna go do that. I came in here to get, I think it's this chest that has it. Yes, the Homeward Bone. That's what I needed. Homeward Bones basically allow you to go back to the last bonfire that you rested at, and that's going to be super important for what I do here. It's kind of, I might die doing this just because, again, it's an area that you're not supposed to go to for a long time. But, the thing that I want is right at the beginning of the area, so, yeah. I might die running past the enemies there, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, the way that you're supposed to go is, like, up that staircase and, go up that bridge. But, if you come down here, all the way down here, like, way down here, down 2 sets of stairs and an elevator. We're gonna grab something called a Firekeeper Soul, and what that does is, you see my Estus Flask? That only heals a certain percent, I don't think it's percent, I think it's amount of, HP. But, it might be a percentage, I'm not sure. But that only heals a certain amount of my HP, and I can increase the amount that it heals by reinforcing my Estus Flask with Firekeeper Souls, and so you can get up to +6. Basically, when I reinforce the Estus Flask, it'll say Estus Flask +1. You can get up to Estus Flask +6. So there are 6 Firekeeper Souls that you can get in the game, and have them be reinforced. It goes up to +7, but that requires New Game Plus because you can't actually have all of them. You need a Firekeeper alive in order to reinforce your Estus Flasks, and, in order to reinforce your in order to get the last, Firekeeper Soul, you would need to kill the last Firekeeper, and you can't do that if you want to reinforce your Estus Flasks. So, that's why. And then, I use a Transient Curse here, because these enemies up here, you can only, block them if you are cursed, which is an ailment that you can't really be at this point in the game. So, in order for me to block them, I went ahead and died. Great! I did not walk straight. That's not how I thought I was going to die here. Alright, let's try that again. That is not how I thought I was going to die here. I thought I had a chance of dying, by being hit off, but just blatantly walking off was not exactly on the agenda here. So, We'll try that once more. There's not an elevator there right now. Let me pull the lever to put the elevator here. I've done that before, believe it or not. I have walked here believing that the elevator was here, and the elevator was not there, and I fell and died. So, ever since then, I check. I check very frequently for elevators. This is obviously not the only elevator in the game. There are a bunch of areas in this game, and almost all of them have elevators of some kind. So yeah. Alright, round 2. Let's go. Oh, I thought I could jump through that. Nope. Hello, ghost. Those guys appear if you play online. Which I do, only because I don't know how to turn it off in this game. I turn it off in Dark Souls 3, because I like progression in my games, and being invaded all the freaking time really stops my progression, and I've beaten an invader once. But being invaded all the time is really annoying, so I just play offline Dark Souls 3 in order to prevent that, so I can be embered and summon NPCs for boss fights. Wait, how many souls did I even have? 57? I retrieved a whole 57 souls? Nice. Alright, we're just gonna make sure our camera is... Why? Oh, that's why. The camera turned. Right, grab the Firekeeper soul. Use the homeward bone. That's how that was supposed to go the first time. Clearly, it's not how it went. But that is how that was supposed to go the first time. Alright, now we can... almost continue the game without actually going and doing what I went and got that even for. Okay, so if you come down here, this is where the first Firekeeper is. She's Anastasia of Astora, but she can't speak right now. She won't ever be able to speak. At least in this playthrough. You can make her speak by doing a whole side quest type thing later, which we're going to avoid because it's kind of annoying. But we're gonna reinforce the Estus Flask here, and now even Estus Flask +1, and it'll heal more health than it did before. So yeah. Alright, now we're actually going to continue the game by going up here and killing all these guys. I really, honestly, I'm gonna probably regret saying this, but I honestly probably shouldn't die too much. Oh, hello? Too much at the beginning of this game, because it's not too hard, and now that I know what I'm doing, it becomes even easier. But I will say that I may die because I'm used to playing at a higher level, like further in the game. I may die just by being overconfident about things, but which is kind of a very bad weakness to have in this game, is getting overconfident, because anything in this game can kill you at any level, especially if there's a swarm of them. Like, if you get swarmed by a bunch of these guys, or like the guys that we saw in the Undead Asylum last episode, if you get swarmed by those guys at any level, you're probably gonna die. If you get swarmed by any enemy in this game at any level, you're probably going to die, because swarms suck. And there's a lot of places where the game will lead you into there, like they'll ambush you, and which is why if there's an enemy that starts running away from you at all in any of the Souls games, you know you're being led into an ambush, and you really don't want that. So you just walk around slowly. Really, that's the thing you should do at any point in any Souls game, is like walk around slowly and carefully. You should never really rush into anything, because that will almost certainly lead to death. Anyway, if you come down here, this is an area that I missed in my first playthrough of the game, because I did not know that this existed, and by the time that I did, it wasn't very helpful. But yeah, these guys are what I was talking about, by the guys that we saw in Undead Asylum last episode. Okay. Right away, I have to go over something about this game, and it's every Souls game that I've played. I haven't beaten, but I've played a little bit of Bloodborne, which I would consider a Souls game, because it's basically the same thing. The only difference is you're collecting blood echoes and not souls. The lock-on system, when you're targeting enemies, it doesn't stay locked on to the same enemy. It auto-switches to I don't know what makes it auto-switch. It's not the closest enemy, because sometimes the closest enemy is the one that you're fighting, and it locks onto a completely different enemy. It's just, I don't understand why. But that's one kind of bad thing that I have with the, with this game. The other thing is it queues inputs. So basically, if I mash here, ow. If I mash here to attack, which, I typically do, I don't know why, I need to, it's a bad habit that I have. If I mash here to attack, and then try to roll, well, that time I hit something. If I mash here, and try to roll, I hit the roll button now. It finishes, the amount of times that I press the button, and then it lets me roll. So, that can really screw you over when, you're attacking a boss, and then it starts to do something, and you need to get out of there fast, and you can't, because it queues inputs. I don't know why it does this. I understand finishing animations, but queuing inputs is just kind of annoying. I don't know why it does that, but it's screwed me and also friends of mine over on several occasions. Like, I was watching a bit ago my friend Patty, Pickle444444, do his first playthrough on stream of Dark Souls, and he was facing the boss of a later area that if anybody's watching this, like, blind, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. He was facing the boss of a later area, and it's a boss that you have to hit a lot because it doesn't take a lot of damage, but it's really easy to hit. I mean, it takes a lot of damage. What's a good way to put this? Oh, hello, Hellkite Dragon. We'll deal with you later. Your damage output isn't very high against that boss, is what I'm trying to say. Like when you attack that boss, you don't do a whole hell of a lot of damage to it. And it takes a long time because of that. And he was almost done with it. And then it screwed him over. Because the cute input screwed him over. Because he was attacking it and he meant to roll out of the way. And he was mashing the roll button. And he rolled right off the platform and died. And it was not a good experience for him or anybody else. But anyway, seeing as we've gotten to the next bonfire, I think that's a good place to end this episode of Dark Souls. The next one, we're going to continue through Undeadburg. Probably finish it, to be honest. This is a very short area. So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, I would appreciate it if you would leave a like, a comment, maybe even a favorite. If you really enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps me out a lot, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys!